What's up, freaks and geeks? Welcome to episode 7 of the THEUPLATE Podcast show. It's been a while. It's been a couple weeks. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Halloween. I don't think I've talked to you guys since the beginning of October, so hope everyone had good holidays. Today's Black Friday, and I ain't got no money. So I guess it's a good thing, because I don't want to be stuck out in the stores on a Black Friday, right? Anyway, we got 3 big topics that we're going to talk about today. The first one, as most of you may know, there is some trouble going on in the Scream department. For those of you who haven't seen Scream 5 or 6, there are new characters introduced, while legacy characters sort of take a backseat, which was pretty cool. I enjoyed seeing some new blood come into the Scream franchise, and now they're gone. And by they, I mean Melissa Barrera and her on-screen little sister, Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega has left the project, Scream 7, and Melissa Barrera has been dropped from the project. So, well, let's get into Melissa first. Apparently, she had some comments or a statement or something like that on the whole Israel-Palestine conflict, and I'm not going to say what the statement was. I'm not even going to get into that part of it. I'm just going to pretty much explain how shitty it is that they had to drop her for that. Personally, I think it's stupid that they would even consider doing that, especially after all the bad press they got in, basically towards a little bit of last year, to where we all found out that Neve Campbell, the girl who plays Sydney in the Scream movies, was also not going to be in Scream 6. Because of studio issues, they didn't want to pay her what she was worth, which is also just stupid. So, whoever's running this show, I'm not really sure how to say it, if Paramount, Spyglass, whoever it is, whoever these decision makers are on Scream, good job, guys. You're really doing us service here by just, letting all of the characters go. That's a real nice way to get the franchise where the fans want it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But that was all sarcastic, by the way. No, you guys are idiots. You're stupid. You should have never underpaid Neve Campbell. That's just ridiculous. She is literally the star of the Scream franchise. And yeah, she was only in a bit of 5, which worked. Like I said, it was nice to see new blood. In Scream 6, completely no Sidney Prescott, right? But the movie still did really good. I enjoyed it. That was a Scream movie where I didn't need Sidney Prescott in it, really. I thought it was great. And, Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera, they're both, I would say, huge parts of the franchise now. And yeah, so I guess if you have an opinion on a real big world issue, then that can get you fired from your job, which is totally just bonkers to me. I think that's ridiculous. And I will say, I know I said I wasn't going to get into the politics side of things, but I will say whatever she did say, I know it wasn't terrible. It wasn't a bad thing she said. It was something that almost any other opinion or any other human would have the same opinion. So, I'm not sure why they did that. And then the next day after she had been dropped, Jenna Ortega announced that she was leaving the project. And she says it doesn't have anything to do with Melissa Barrera. A lot of speculation is going towards that it's for Wednesday season 2 shooting schedule, which is believable. But I think she's just trying to get her friends back, which there's nothing wrong with that. She probably didn't want to say she is quitting because of that, because then she would never be considered for another role in a Scream movie again. I'm just guessing here, guys. If you got opinions, drop them down below. If you got facts that I'm not catching, that I haven't catched, drop them down below. I've researched into it a little bit, but not too much, because I don't want to get too into the whole politics side of it. Like I said, this is just about the movie for me. But Scream 7. So if there is a Scream 7, what are they gonna do now? I know there's been talks of eyeing Neve Campbell to come back as Sidney, which they could just give us a final chapter of the Scream franchise with Sidney, Gale, Mark, the detective from Scream 3, who is pretty obviously Sidney's husband now with the kids and all that. We don't see that, but it's mentioned in 5. Stu, this is a pretty good segue to bring back Stu, I think. But even if all this dumb bullshit didn't happen, I feel like they could bring back Stu either way, and I hope they do. And if they don't, in Scream 7, now I'm really at the point where I just don't care about Scream no more. I love all the Scream movies, don't get me wrong, but the people who make them, it's getting stale at this point, I will say in Scream 6, when the the killers were revealed, I was pretty underwhelmed. It was disappointing. I was like, really? Another couple teenagers and a parent again? Like, why can't we go down a different road? So I hope that they do that. But they're going to have to really nail it and kick it in the ass as hard as they can, because without, Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera, and possibly Neve Campbell, she might not even come back after this, because, they weren't very fair to her either. So I don't know. I just don't know where this movie could go, and I really don't want to see a Scream movie with just like Gale in it, And it sucks too, because in the last Scream movie, Part 7, there's all these stories, like plot points that have been built up, and we all saw that movie, and we knew that there was more to tell, more to see. And now that's just all gone. We're not going to see if Tara and Chad get together, We're not going to see if, what's her name? Melissa Barrera's character. I forgot her name, but we're not going to see what happens to her and the inner killer inside of her because she's Billy's daughter, We're not going to see any of that now. And it's just disappointing. So that's why I'm like, either bring back Stu at this point. If you can't bring back Stu at this point, then the movie's just, I don't care about it. It's boring. No, I'm not looking forward to being introduced to a whole new cast of characters just for them to be dropped or underpaid again, that's just my opinion. It's really frustrating to be a fan of the Scream franchise right now, because you just want to go in there and kick all these idiots out, and you just wish you could bring in the right people to make these movies. And I'm not talking about like Kevin Williamson, the writer, none of that. But what I am saying is, what the fuck are you guys doing? You just dropped the three, if you count Neve Campbell, you just dropped the 3 biggest stars of the whole franchise. Oh, and you killed Dewey in the 5th movie, so you guys are really fucked now. Like, you don't have anybody to lead this franchise on, except for Gale. And realistically, like I just said, who really wants to see a Scream movie that's just all about Gale? I personally don't. Unless Stu is in it, then don't even make it. Go spend the money on a different movie, because I'll tell you right now, if Stu or Neve Campbell are not in this movie, then I'm not going to go see it. But, yeah, we'll move on here. But, yeah, go research the whole thing. Check it out. Let me know what you think. It's sad. It sucks, because the Scream 6 was fucking awesome, and even without Neve Campbell, it was great. But the only reason that movie worked without her is because they had Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera. and they were so incompetent that they just lost both of those stars. So, yeah, they're fucked now. Whatever comes next better be good. Next topic. Let's talk about The Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese's new movie. Yeah. Now, I actually did a review on this movie. I just didn't release it because I went back and watched it, and I was being a little too hard on the movie, and I don't think I had any right to be honest with you. I've obviously not seen the movie again, but I've researched the story a bit more. And for those of you who don't know, The Killers of the Flower Moon is a tale about, a true story, I should say, about a wealthy native family sitting on a whole bunch of oil way back in the early 1900s, I believe. And these, I don't know what to call them, the Burkharts, I think their name are. They're sort of a wealthy-ish family, and Leonardo DiCaprio and his uncle are scheming. This native family, Leo, marries into the family to get a whole bunch of wealth for him and his uncle. And throughout the movie, they stage elaborate killings of all these family members to get more money. So it's a pretty evil movie. It's a very dark tone to it. Maybe not the movie itself, but that particular story, even though, the true story is very grim. It's a terrible tragedy that happened to those people. Basically, people just getting murdered in their sleep for money is, what it was. But let's talk about the movie itself. This movie's 3.5 hours long, man. And I know that The Irishman was like 4 hours long, but that came out straight to Netflix, This movie was 3.5 hours long, which, believe it or not, guys, I didn't check that before I went and saw the movie. And I took my girlfriend to see this movie, and she likes gangster films and Scorsese movies, but they gotta be really good for her to, stay into them, kind of like the Goodfellas, But this movie, I will say, it's boring for people who aren't into dramas, and I am. So I enjoyed it for the most part, but yeah, 3.5 hours in a theater, that's asking a lot of someone. I feel like they could have, they could have slimmed it down quite a bit, I think, but it is a true story, and it's important to tell it the way it happened. And I know Martin Scorsese went through a whole bunch of, trips and researching and just basically, filing this whole story down to its base perfectly, from what I understand. So it's definitely an art piece, but it's very subjective. It's not an action-packed thriller at all. Really, it's a drama, and there's some killing that happens in it. There's a lot of schemery that happens in it, and you'll have to just watch it for yourself to come up with an opinion. And read the book as well. I'm going to read the book, and I'll probably do a review on it. I'll probably do a whole review on the movie as well. But yeah, I liked the movie. That was definitely the movie that made it clear that I'm not a person that'll go sit in a movie theater for 3 hours. My girlfriend was not happy. She really wanted to leave. And I even told her a couple times, hey, we can get out of here if you want to. She's like, no, we'll finish it, but when's it going to be over? And I was like, I don't know. It seems like it's going on forever. And, when it's a drama, it really drags. It really drags on. But, at home, just get yourself a snack, a drink, sit down, and you can have your bathroom breaks with the pause button, whatever, go outside, have a smoke if that's your thing, whatever, and you won't miss none of it. But I think this is a movie to watch at home for sure. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I'll definitely buy the 4K when it comes out, if it comes out on 4K. A lot of people, critics, whatever, were saying that this is DiCaprio's best role, which I totally just disagree with, respectfully. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of my favorite actors. You know, the guy is a legend. He is the stone cold Steve Austin of the acting business. You know, he is up there on the top 5 like most popular decorated actors, and the dude has every right and privilege to be on that list. But to say that this was his best role seemed kind of just crazy to me, because there's so many other roles that this dude has played in that are just so much more emotion and, you know, intensity. Like a good example would be, personally, Django. You know, when he plays Calvin Candy, the slave plantation owner in Django. I feel like that character, he did phenomenal on that part. And I'm not saying he didn't. Like, this is definitely a great role of his, but for them to say it's his best, I gotta disagree. It's not his best at all, you know? And there's not a lot of scenes where you go, man, this is really great acting. You know, even Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think he did better in that movie than this. There's more to his character that in this. Like, in this movie, he's just kind of a evil, you know, liar, which not anyone can play, but, you know, I just feel like it's easier to play that than a slave plantation owner, you know, or a struggling actor, you know. So yeah, definitely not his best role, in my opinion. Maybe you guys think it was. Obviously, some people out there think it was, and that's fine. One person I really loved in this movie, though, was Robert De Niro. And it's sad because the dude, you can tell the dude is getting up there in age. And, like, you know, I really look at a lot of actors that I grew up with, and they're just getting old, dude, and it sucks because, you know, I'm pretty sure De Niro even got injured on this set, and it slowed production down a little bit. But, yeah, his role in this movie, as he's pretty much the same dude as Leonardo DiCaprio, just in, like, some, you know, scheming white man who wants to steal these natives' money and coming up with all these murderous plots to, you know, get to that point and whatnot. But one thing I really liked about his character, the way he played it, was, like, his accent, the way he, because usually when Robert De Niro's on screen, he almost sounds like the same guy sometimes. And in this one, he sounds like Max Cady from Cape Fear. If you guys ever seen that, that's a great movie. Go check that out. That is also Robert De Niro. But he has, like, the same accent as he did in that movie. And I saw that, and I don't know if anyone else saw that, but when I saw that, I was like, man, I want to watch Cape Fear now. I want to get the fuck out of this theater and watch Cape Fear now. Yeah, we were in there from, like, 4 to 8 at the theater. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it was just a long, long, long movie. But it was good, and I enjoyed it, and I'm going to enjoy it when it comes out on 4K. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on The Killers of the Flower Moon. I'll do an actual review on the movie once I get the 4K, if that's something you guys would like to see. But, yeah, so moving on to our last topic, there's rumors. I don't know if they're rumors. I don't know what. I'm telling you guys right now, when I come to you with these news things, like the whole Scream thing I just ranted about and all that, I don't do much research. This is solely my opinion on most of it and just things that I see. So when I say rumors, I really do mean rumors. You can go research it for yourself if you want to. I just don't have the time to do all that. But yes, there's rumors going around that the new Fantastic Four movie will have the Silver Surfer in it, right? All right. Now everyone applause. Everyone be happy. Everyone be excited for that, right? And then they announced that the Silver Surfer is going to be a woman. Claps are gone. No one's excited no more. And there's actually people out there wanting to cancel the film now. And I got to say, guys, I don't blame them. I really don't blame them. I don't have anything against women, obviously. I'm not a women hater, you know. Supergirl, that works. Batgirl, that works. Spider-Girl, that works, you know. But a female Silver Surfer, I think there's only been one variant of that in the Marvel Universe. And like I said, guys, I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I am. Correct me if I am. But as far as I know, there's only been one version of the female Silver Surfer in the Marvel Universe, the comic universe. And you guys all know there's tons of variants of every character. So to only have one version be female and then to base the story off that, it just seems way too out of left field to me. And I just don't understand why we have to change everything now. I just don't get it. Especially with comic book characters lately. It seems like every character, their skin color has to be changed, their gender has to be changed. And it's just, to someone like me, that's just off-putting. And it kind of makes it underwhelming. Like, I don't even want to go see it now. And, who knows? I could be wrong. Maybe a female Silver Surfer would be badass. I'm not saying it won't be cool. I'm just saying, like, if you guys are going to take that risk and go out the window with that, then you better hope you're going to land on your feet. Because if not, then you just got another shitty MCU movie on your hands. Another one. And I'm a huge Marvel geek, guys. I love Marvel. Do I love the MCU? No, I don't. I there's parts of it that I love, but as of where it sits right now, I could care less. Like the Marvels, I heard that was one of the biggest bombs in history for the MCU, and just like all their recent movies before that, like the Eternals, that bombed. A lot of their newer shows that no one has time to watch, by the way. She-Hulk, that was terrible. MODOK, that is just... I don't even want to go there because why are they even doing that? There's just a lot of things. I think someone needs to kick Kevin Feige off of the fucking top chair. And we need to get someone who likes the real heroes in the chair. Because lately it seems like in Marvel... they're just building up all these small B-sided characters that no one has ever heard about or cares about. And it seems like we're just building up to something. And I assume that's going to be Avengers Secret War, which isn't coming out for another 4 years or something like that. Which I just don't understand that either at all. Like, why announce a movie that's 6 years away? I don't get that. That's frustrating to me. Because every time you see a post about it, you're like, I don't care. I gotta wait so long for it. What's the point of even caring at this moment? I'll care when the movie's 2 months away, of course. I'll be talking about it all over the channel. But as of right now, it's just like, dude, if it's really gonna take you guys that long to make one film, then I don't even have faith that you're gonna make it. Because it just doesn't make sense, And what did it take them? I don't know. Infinity War came out and it took them 2-3 years to come out with Endgame or something. Like, that's how it should be. We shouldn't have to wait a half a decade for a new Avengers film. And if I don't know why the wait is that long and why it's taking them that long. It's probably because they're wasting time on things like the Marvels and all these other characters that personally I just don't care about. Even like the Daredevil show, dude. That's been announced for how long now? And my voice just cracked. But that's been announced for how long now? And we still gotta wait like a year for that too. Like a year and a half for that. So it's just like, you guys can shit out She-Hulk, you can shit out this, but you can't give us what we want in time, in a timely manner. You have to make us wait for that. And then in the meantime, you're giving us all these disappointments. And then... on top of all this, back to the main topic with this, how we got into this. On top of all that, you're gonna give us a movie we've been waiting for forever, the Fantastic Four, right? And the cast so far is pretty stellar, I would say. Like the Human Torch, I believe, is gonna be played by Joseph Quinn, which is the dude who plays Eddie Munson in Stranger Things 4. That's awesome. That's a perfect casting choice right there. Reed Richards is most likely going to be played by Pedro Pascal, which is the man from The Last of Us. great choice. Ben, the Thing, he's going to be played by, I forget his name, but it's Microchip from the Punisher show. That's a great actor. Now, I totally forgot who Invisible Woman was, but, God, I know her name, too. I just can't think of it. Damn it. Comment down below what her name is. But, yeah, the four themselves, perfect casting, right? So everything's going so good. Let's throw a big risk in there and possibly ruin the whole movie with giving everyone a Silver Surfer. I just don't understand that. I really don't. And the Silver Surfer, there's so many stories to his character that involves him with a wife and, like, all kinds of stuff like that. And, like, yeah, you could flip-flop it and say, well, it's her husband now. You know, that could work. Like, I'm not trying to hate on the idea. I just, personally, it's not something that made me jump off the couch and scream for joy. You know? I didn't even know the Silver Surfer was going to be in this movie until I saw that. And I think that's why I'm so frustrated, is because I'm like, oh, man, they're putting a Silver Surfer in there, but it's not the Silver Surfer. It's a whole different character, in my opinion. You know, what's her name going to be? Norman Rad? I'm pretty sure that's his name. I doubt it. And, like, see, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we could dig into. And this is the MCU, guys. So with a character as big as a Silver Surfer, why turn him into a female? Why? I just don't understand that. That'd be like turning Elektra into a man, you know, which is basically just Daredevil. I just don't understand it. I think it's a poor choice. Maybe not a poor choice. Like I said, it could work, maybe, but I think it's a huge risk. Yeah, that's what I'll say. It's a huge risk. And with where the MCU is sitting right now, I don't think they could. I think they need to settle down on risk taking. And, you know, Kevin Feige, I feel like they're just kind of like, oh, you know, this is part of the MCU. People are going to go see it regardless. So we're going to make the money regardless. And I feel like that's just the attitude that I see. And I just don't like that. It angers me. It makes me upset. You know, personally, if I was Kevin Feige, I would have had 2 more Avengers films out by now. And if you want to introduce all these little, you know, C-list characters that no one knows about, bring them into an Avengers movie. Because that's what you're building them up for anyway, isn't it? Is so they could be part of the Avengers. Introduce them in the Avengers movie, because we already know who Spider-Man is. We already know who Hawkeye is. We already know all these characters. So there's plenty of room inside of a 2.5-hour movie to introduce a couple B-side characters instead of giving us a whole Disney show that, like I said, no one really even has time to watch nowadays, you know? I don't even know what's going on in those shows. I did watch She-Hulk. I watched all that. Didn't like it. I really only watched it for Daredevil. That show was pretty propaganda-filled with, like, I don't know. I'm not even going to go there. I thought it was just a whole message. That show was a message. I watched Moon Knight. Now, Moon Knight, that's one time in recent past where they actually nailed it. And I think they did really well on that. But even Moon Knight, you know, why aren't we getting a second season of that? But we're getting a second season of Loki. Like, I'm sorry, guys, but I don't care about Loki. I seen him in the first couple Avengers movies and Thor. I'm good. I don't need more Loki. I don't need a season 2 of Loki. I need a season 1 of Daredevil, a season 1 of The Punisher, and a season 2 of Moon Knight. Tell me that doesn't sound like a cooler idea. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a guy. You know, maybe it's because I'm a guy. Maybe a lot of Marvel fans out there now are more female. Because you guys know back in the day, it was mostly a dude thing. Like, we got picked on by the girls because I'd wear, like, a Spider-Man shirt to school or something. And I'd get laughed at because all the other boys are wearing, like, you know, football shirts or whatever. And that's where the girls go. But now I feel like girls are way more into these things. And, you know, Of course they were back in the day, but with how things are in this world now, I think it's just more accepting to be fans of that. So, yeah, maybe it's just because I'm a guy. That's why I want to see all these darker, grim stories. I don't know. But there's even some girls out there, I'm sure, who would rather see Ghost Rider than She-Hulk. You know? And, like, She-Hulk, that's not bad, but let me segue into something real quick, and then we're probably going to wrap up this podcast. At the end of She-Hulk, Hulk comes in, and he's in throughout the show either way. Let me take a drink real quick here, guys. So Hulk comes in with his son, and for you Hulk fans out there, I'm a huge Hulk fan. Hulk has a son named Scar, and he would have had this son during his time in Thor Ragnarok. This is literally how it goes. They bring him in, and they say, "Oh yeah, this is my son Scar, by the way." And then they show him. He's totally CGI'd out, looks terrible, and then that's it. That's our introduction to Scar, one of the most badass Marvel characters out there. That's what we got. And Daredevil in that show is very campy and cheesy. Like, Daredevil might be one of my favorite Marvel characters, so that is one character I can actually back up my facts on. Daredevil's not a happy guy. Daredevil's not a happy-go-lucky superhero like Spider-Man, you know? He doesn't walk around cracking jokes and, like, having dinner with people's parents. That's not Matt Murdock. Matt Murdock is a Catholic who is constantly struggling with his conscience to figure out if what he's doing, you know, he's just a grim guy. And for them to make him into almost a joke on She-Hulk, that was just disappointing too. All right, and then before we go, I want to bring up the Hulk because we got into Hulk and I'm just kind of bitching about Marvel, so I'm going to keep bitching for a minute. Let's talk about the Hulk. If you're a Hulk fan, what have you got in any of these last movies for Hulk? What have you got at all? There hasn't even been a Hulk smash since Age of Ultron, I believe, or something, you know? And even She-Hulk, dude, half the show, there's not even She-Hulk in action. It's She-Hulk being a woman and, like, struggling with, like, dating and struggling with her job and, like, you know, just being a normal human being that just so happens to have superpowers, and she never wanted them in the first place. And that right there, that's just not what superhero fans came to see. You know, if we wanted to watch that, we would go on Netflix and find a dating show to watch. You know, because I've done it before. I watch shit like that. Who cares? But when I turn on a Marvel show, is that what I want to see? No, I want to see She-Hulk smashing shit, not Daredevil. Yeah, it's a terrible joke there. But back to the Hulk, you know, what have we got for Hulk in the last couple movies? The Hulk was awesome in the first Avengers movie. The Hulk was a monster in Age of Ultron. And then we get to Infinity War, and he gets hit one time by Thanos, and ever since then he just turned into a big pussy. And then in Endgame we get Smart Hulk, not a fan at all. You know, say cheese. Like, dude, that's not Hulk, bro. I love Mark Ruffalo, but that's not Hulk. Thor Ragnarok, badass Hulk, right? But that's only because I just don't know, guys. And then, you know, if they come out with the new Hulk movie soon, which they had better, because they really underplayed Hulk like 100% throughout this whole timeline almost. And even his own movie, the one with Edward Norton, they totally almost They almost just like discrapped that movie. Like, when you think about the MCU, that movie almost doesn't even come into mind, even though it's like the second MCU movie in the timeline. And that's just sad, because that Hulk was the Hulk. He had to control his anger. Bruce had to, you know, keep it in the lid. or keep a lid on it, as Rambo would say. He had to really control himself from being the Hulk, because he knows when he turns into the Hulk, he turns into a monster, not just a controlled asset to the Avengers, which is what it looks like to me. You know, in the 2008 film, he's the Hulk. You know, you piss him off, he gets angry, he gets bigger, he gets greener, whatever. There's just none of that in the MCU anymore for Hulk, and it's disappointing. It's really disappointing. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think down below, because I'll probably do another. My next podcast will probably be all MCU orientated. We'll see. It just depends. But yeah, let me know what you guys think below, about Hulk, about Daredevil, about She-Hulk, about the female Silver Surfer. What do you guys think about that? Could it work? Will it work? I personally don't think it will. It might. But I guess we'll just have to see if these movies ever even come out. What'd you think about Killers of the Flower Moon? And how do you feel about the letting go of Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega leaving Scream 7? So yeah, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. I hope we all had a great holiday. This has been a long podcast, but I had a lot to say. It's been a couple weeks, so I'm glad that we stretched this episode out a little bit. If you guys are fans of Fueled When Faded, we will be back on that very shortly. We're just kind of getting some things running with some equipment. A couple of our lights got broken due to the wind knocking them over. You know, just things happen, guys. But I'll see you next week on the next episode 8 it will be. And yeah, we'll probably talk about the MCU throughout the whole episode. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you guys are having a great day. Don't get ran over in the Walmart parking lot for Black Friday. And yeah, make sure to go subscribe to Fueled When Faded if you don't know what that is. It's a podcast with me and my best friend, and we have all sorts of guests on, other friends. The podcast is going a little slow right now, but like I said, we're working towards rebooting it. So yeah, go check that out. Oh yeah, one other thing, guys. If any of you are wondering about what the situation with the gaming videos on this channel are on, I'm getting through Vice City right now. That should be done in a couple weeks, hopefully. Just depending on my schedule, work, whatever. I don't have time to play video games all day, so I try to get as much done as I can. Max Payne, I will finish that game eventually, but not right now, guys. That game pissed me off so bad. And for those of you who know, I do most of my games right now just on the phone, on iOS streaming. So Max Payne on mobile it's pretty hard. It's really hard. Yeah, so if you guys are wondering, yeah, that's the answer. Max Payne's hard, and Vice City is taking some time. But they'll be out soon. Max Payne won't be out soon. Vice City will be out soon. And then comment down below, what do you guys think? Should I do Bully next? Should I do GTA Chinatown Wars, GTA 3, GTA Liberty City Stories, Lego Batman? I could even do some Minecraft videos. I could stream some... I just started playing Mafia 2. Maybe I'll stream some of that on the PlayStation. Yeah, I like to give, unlike a lot of the things we just talked about, unlike that, I like to give my fans what they want for the most part. I know you can't always be a fan service because sometimes that will ruin things, but I like to fan service. So comment down below and tell me what you guys want next for the gaming videos. But yeah, I'm going to quit repeating myself. We're going to wrap this podcast up. Go check out Fueled When Faded. And we'll see you next week, freaks and geeks. Peace out.